What is going on, guys? Welcome to Grego's TV Daily Rewind. This is where we go back a week and give you all of your tech news stories from the past 7 days in one single video. In this video, we talk a lot about the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. A lot of information came out about those devices. We talk about the Galaxy Tab S9 series. We talk about an update that we've been waiting forever on the Galaxy Z Fold 4. And so much more, so enjoy this week, and we'll see you in the next one. Our first story of the day has to do with my favorite phone, my current phone, the phone that I personally use on a daily basis, the Galaxy Z Fold 4. But this one's about the Z Fold 3, but it just reiterates me. I can't stress enough to get insurance with your phone. This is the phone, even if you have the manufacturer's warranty, just get insurance with it as well. It's smart too, because these phones, as much as I love them, have seemingly more issues than traditional candy bar phones in terms of the physical part of it. So let's check this out. This is from Reddit, and this guy said, my Fold 3 was broken right after the warranty ended. And if you watch the video, it's like this little video basically that shows like this line going across at times. And it's something that needs to be fixed. The LCD screen probably needs to be replaced. And if he pays for it out of pocket, it's probably gonna be a couple or a few $100 to get that fixed, versus if he had insurance, it's probably like 29 bucks or 50 bucks or something. It's not gonna be nearly as much. And also you get the peace of mind that after the manufacturer's warranty, if it's a defect with the phone and not you breaking it or vice versa, you have the insurance. You can get it fixed under that insurance and not pay completely high amounts of premiums out of your own wallet. So I just want to stress it enough. The more this stuff comes up, you have to get the insurance with this phone. Be careful. Last story of the day is about the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. Now, we've been talking about the specs and things that go along with these phones. But someone made a great little list of things that have been updated and things you probably want to know about the phones in terms of like, why should I upgrade if I'm on the Pixel 6 or 6 Pro or something like that, or even if you're just coming into this new. And then I'm also gonna talk about a feature that seemingly is missing that was talked about being a big feature, and it makes me completely disappointed. I'm hoping it just hasn't been publicized, but here's the list first. So this is coming from Yogesh Brar saying that the Google Pixel 7 series in a nutshell. So you'll get a bigger display on the Pixel 7, that'll be 6.3 inches, 6.7 on the Pro. Tensor G2 processor, which is going to give you better thermals and GPU performance, so your gaming will be better. Titan M2 security, and that is just better overall security. New selfie and new rear cameras, so cameras should be a little bit better in terms of performance of photos, the quality of it. Face unlock is new to the line completely, so you'll be able to unlock the phone with your face and with the under display fingerprint sensor. 30x zoom, we talked about this yesterday, on the 7 Pro. It'll be 8x on the regular 7, but 30x zoom, it's an increase from 20x on the 6 Pro. Cinematic blur, so that is like iPhone. So basically when you take a video, just think of it as portrait video if you're coming from Samsung. It blurs the background out, puts the person in focus that you have the camera on so that you can see it better. It creates a more dramatic effect. Same charging speeds as before. I believe it's 30 watts and 15 watts for the regular 7. It's not anything crazy, and I know even with the faster 30 watt speed, it still doesn't charge as fast as a Samsung phone. IP68 rating, I believe it was 67 on the last generation, but IP68 dust and water resistance on 7 and 7 Pro. HDR plus 10 when you create your videos on there with the camera. So there's some nice things on there. Obviously still getting 90 hertz and 120 hertz on the display. Those haven't been updated, it's the same as last year, but those are some of the big takeaways for the 7 and 7 Pro. The feature that is missing that I've seen some commercials that have leaked out about the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. I have seen lists of specs come out from this phone, and nothing has said this, and that is a brighter display. One of the things that bugs me about the Pixel 6 Pro is the display. If I put it up to 100%, it's pretty good. Outdoors, could be brighter, let's be honest, even at its 100%. And that's just one of the, I love a nice bright display. It's not gonna be for everybody. A lot of people don't like a bright display. A lot of people do. I'm coming from a Samsung device as my main device, and it's super bright, and these just don't get bright enough. And I haven't seen anything on the 7 or 7 Pro, marketing materials, official materials, commercials that I've seen leaked out that say anything about brighter displays. Hopefully at the event on October 6th, they say, hey, we've got a new brighter display, but right now it doesn't look like they might have made it brighter, but maybe not massively brighter. First story of the day has to do with iPhone and Apple and their tablets, and it looks like they're gonna be forced into using USB-C, at least in Europe. And if they're gonna have to do it in Europe, you can bet they're gonna do it everywhere in the world at that point. There's already rumors that the next iPhone's gonna be USB-C compatible. We've heard that for the last couple of years anyway. It's rumoring up again for the next one that comes up, but by the end of 2024, Apple has to go USB-C. So this is great news. Almost everything else is USB-C in the world, and it's time Apple jumps on this train. They're on a little bit. They are a little bit with their some of their laptops and with some of their tablets, but the phones definitely, and then some of their other devices as well. Next up, as you can see right here, the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro earbuds have gotten their first official firmware update. It's pretty big too at that. I know it only says like 5 megs, but still that's pretty big when you usually see these updates and they're in their 2s. It doesn't seem to have added any new features, really just stability and bug fixes. So I personally didn't grab it just yet, but next time I connect to my Buds, I will definitely install this update. Actually, I'm on automatic updates, so maybe I did get it. Probably not though, but yeah, check for if you don't have automatic updates turned on, go into the settings of your Galaxy wearable app and download the newest update. Speaking of Samsung and Galaxy, what are the battery sizes going to be on the S23 Ultra and S23 Plus? Well, looks like the S23 Plus is getting a little bit of a bump, and we've spoken about the Ultra, but it looks like it's getting locked in more and more. So for the 23 Ultra, it'll be locked in at 5,000 milliamp battery, and then for the 23 Plus, you're looking at 4,700 milliamp battery on there to get a little bit more juice and life out of your phone. All good at the end of the day. When is Samsung going to go crazy and eclipse these amounts? They probably won't. Maybe if battery technology changes, they might, or even if they are able to create batteries that weigh less, but I don't think they want their phones to be, super fat and super heavy either. So I think that's why we're probably seeing these batteries pretty much stick to where they are. And our last story of the day has to do with the Google Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. Again, October, I should say, 6th is the day that it will be announced and unveiled. One of the things I spoke about yesterday and that I've been talking about is, hey, we're supposed to see a brighter screen. I hadn't heard anything about it. Today I finally did. So this is really good news. One of my pet peeves about the Pixel phones is they just don't get bright enough. They're pretty dim displays. They've been like that for years, and it looks like they're finally fixing it this year. I will admit it's not the brightest display ever on a phone, which belongs to the iPhone 14 Pro Max at 2,000 nits of brightness at its ultra peak, but Google's getting there. So for the 7 Pro, you're looking at 1,500 nits, and for the 7, you're looking at 1,400 nits. Very respectable numbers on that upper echelon. Not the highest, not as high as the latest Samsung phones from the 22 Ultra, but high enough to where I could probably have this at half brightness and be pretty freaking happy at that point. Not because generally I'm keeping that thing at 80-90% just to get it at a comfortable brightness for me. So I'm very happy about hearing this, that the brightness is definitely getting improved. Thanks so much. Our story of the day has to do with the Google Pixel Watch and some specs that have released out for them from a French retailer. So here we go, guys. Pixel Watch saying 1.6-inch AMOLED with 320 ppi. There's also been rumors that the display is gonna be 1.36, so be a little iffy on that. Up to 1,000 nits of brightness with always on mode, which is very nice. 1,000 nits is pretty bright overall. Dial size will be 41 millimeters. Corning Gorilla Glass 5 3D. Exynos 9110 for the processor, which again is not the newest, it's actually a pretty old processor. Cortex M33 coprocessor to probably handle a lot of the smart functions of the watch. 2 gigabytes of RAM. It's going to run Google Wear OS 3.5. It'll have Bluetooth 5.0, Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz. You can get a 4G LTE version of this watch, NFC for digital payments and such. It'll have heart rate monitor and ECG monitoring, 5 ATM ppm, 50 meter of water resistance, and 24 hours battery life, which a lot of people will probably look down upon. The other thing I didn't see it mentioned is should have 32 gigs of storage for you to store music, photos, things like that. And then the price is supposed to be starting off at $349. Last story of the day has to do with the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro and some benchmarks that have finally been leaked out for that new Tensor 2 processor and what type of performance to expect from it and what I want to say about it at the end of it. So check this out. So this is coming from Yogesh Brar. I know he pulled it from somewhere. I forget. I saw it somewhere else, but then he's posting it too. But anyways, the Google Pixel 7 Pro benchmark scores will be single core of 1068, multi-core of 3149, and 2280, 801, 116. These scores are similar to Snapdragon 888, 880 Plus, which you remember is a processor from last year. Tensor G2 is still behind flagships, but will lead in ISP and AI performance. So what we are going to say about that basically is think about your phone last year. Was it fast? Probably yes. Did it was it able to run, games at basically the highest performance or high performances that you were very happy and comfortable with? Yes. Is this processor that's in the Pixel 7 Pro, is it as fast as what Apple has or what's in the 8 Gen 1 or going to be in the 8 Gen 2? No, it's not. But is it going to do everything really, really well? Probably. I mean, even you can grab the Pixel 6 or 6 Pro and it still feels very, very fluid, very, very fast. So we're at a point of things that we're doing with our phones aren't that big a deal. It handles almost every processor from the last couple or few years, runs really, really good. So I wouldn't worry about that part of it not being like the upper echelon of processors. I would be worried about nothing, to be honest with you. I'd be worried about, is it gonna give me good battery life? Is it gonna overheat? That's what I would be concerned with. And if it does not overheat and it does give good battery life, all is good in the world because it's going to be able to run everything that you want perfectly fine. Because today was Google's day. They announced a ton of products. They actually announced a ton of products, I think it was yesterday too, like a new, oh God, what did they announce now? I can't even remember. A new router, new Wi-Fi router, new doorbell and stuff like that. But today, they actually announced their new phones, the Pixel 7, 7 Pro. They also announced the Pixel Watch. They announced their tablet as well, but the tablet won't be out until 2023. And I'll have this really cool dock that works into a speaker. But Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, everything we've been pretty much speaking about it's known. There really isn't anything new per se that came out today. The price, one of the new things is there is a 512 gigabyte version of the 7 Pro, so you can get it up to 512 gigabytes if you want. The prices are super competitive, $899, $999. I think the 512 is $1099. I mean, when you grab phones that expensive on the other places like Samsung and Apple, you're hundreds of dollars more than what you can get on that Pixel phone. I think this phone's gonna be a huge hit, I really do. Maybe not as big as an Apple or a Samsung phone, but for Google, I really think they're gonna sell more of these phones than they ever have. I think a lot of people are gonna be impressed by these phones. Just some of the changes they've made, I think they're gonna be happy with those. So if you're looking to get this phone, it's linked down below. There's some good deals going on right now. $200 credit if you get it at the Google store. $200 gift card if you get it from Best Buy. And then also if you get it from Best Buy or Google. With Google, you get up to $750 in credit, depending upon the phone. With Best Buy, I think it's up to $400 or $450 for trading credit. So there's some good deals going on for these phones. Everything's linked down below if you want to take advantage of it. And I cannot wait. I hope Google ends up sending me the 7 Pro. And I hope the Pixel Watch as well, because I really, really want to try that. Our last story of the day, this is pretty big, guys. It looks like Verizon, if you have a Galaxy Z Fold 4, is pushing out the update. Finally, we're stuck on this July security update, so they're pushing out, I think it was September or October security update as of today. I know other carriers, as of right now anyway, don't have it. So like if you're an AT&T or T-Mobile, you might not have it yet, but I heard, because it's on Reddit, that people with Verizon are getting it right now. Now, it's just a security update. There's no features added or anything like that, but I guess that's kind of good for something to be able to get your security. which is now what, 3 months old, to get into being a bit more secure with your phone. So great to hear this. Check for security updates or software updates on your phone of your Z Fold 4 to see if you've got the latest and greatest update. And first of all, colors for the Galaxy S23 phone. What are we expecting to see? Is it limited? Is it a large supply of colors? What are we going to see? So this is what's being leaked out by Mr. Ross Young. Mr. Ross Young is saying, seen colors on the S23 series. Has this been leaked? And he says that the colors for the S23 will be beige, black, green, and light pink. Now the colors of the S23 are usually more inspiring, more playful, more fun than what you get with the Ultra version. So I highly expect that we probably won't see light pink on the S23 Ultra. I do think we'll see beige, black, and green though. These colors, it doesn't mean that's gonna be the only colors we see. Sometimes we see these semi-exclusive colors come out, or limited edition colors, or colors that come out later on in the cycle of the phone, the life cycle of the phone. So we'll wait and see, but right now, expect these colors for the base version S23. And our final story of the day is all about the Galaxy Tab S9 series of tablets. As you know, the Galaxy Tab S8, S8 Plus, S8 Ultra came out, I think was it January or something like that, but it came out earlier this year. And when we have this tablet, I have to admit, I still have my Tab S8 Ultra. I use it on a semi-regular basis, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's really, I mean, it is a big tablet, but beyond that, there's really nothing I don't like really about it. Like, I can't think of something I'd be like, oh, that would really make for a great tablet. It would really fix a lot of stuff. I think for me, the only thing I would want would be a better keyboard accessory. I don't like the one that came out with it. So if they improved that, I would probably pick that up, honestly. Beyond that though, Tab S9, S9 Plus, S9 Ultra, when is that going to come out? Because realistically, you would think maybe January, February of 2023. Well, it looks like it's been delayed, and the folks over at the Elect are saying that basically it looks like it might get delayed all the way into the second half of 2023, meaning that you might get this sometime between June and December of 2023. So if you're holding off on getting a tablet and you really need one, getting a Galaxy Tab S8, S8 Plus, or S8 Ultra might not be a bad idea. Now I can see some of the things that they might want to do with, for instance, the Tab S8, put an OLED display, because the OLED displays do look better than the LCD ones. And then the Tab S8 Plus and S8 Ultra do have the OLED displays. So it would be cool if, I think the Tab S8 Plus does, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. So I can see like that being an upgrade to the Tab S9, maybe just the base version, putting an OLED display in that. But then beyond that, I just can't think of many things that they can do to improve those tablets. They're really great tablets. They get good battery life, they have great performance, they have good features, they look good, they have S Pen support. Maybe you can integrate the S Pen inside of the tablet if they really wanted to. They probably won't, but maybe something like that. But I saw some articles, especially one written by Sam Mobile, where it says Pixel 7 Pro versus Galaxy S22 Ultra, and it's saying it's basically a killer of all phones, that it's going, or it could be, or is it, questioning the thought of the Pixel 7 Pro being a flagship killer. And I want to talk about that because I actually think that it truly could be this year, and I'm going to give you a bunch of reasons why. Because in the past, it's always been a pretty good phone. And they have, I feel like anyway, they've steadily gotten better year after year after year with doing different things. And I think them using their own kind of processor, I know Samsung helps make it, but ultimately the Tensor processor that they basically have control of, and that they can create and have more of a narrative with the phone because of that processor in terms of controlling the software even more so, because they already create the software with Android, but then, controlling every nook and cranny of that because the processor has to talk with the software. I think that's a big jump. And obviously with the Tensor G2 processor, it is slightly more powerful. It's also more efficient as well. And it's so powerful that it is in line with processors, at least in benchmark scores, from Snapdragon 888, 880 plus, like that dynamic, that range. Now, that's not as powerful as an 8 Gen 1 or an 8 Gen 2 when that comes out from Snapdragon, But like I've said in other videos, we don't need processors that powerful to run your day-to-day tasks and to play video games. The Tensor G2 processor that comes inside of the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro is plenty powerful to run your games at top performance, and your phone will be lightning fast. This has the G1 processor, or the Tensor, whatever they call it, Tensor Pro 1 processor, and it absolutely is blazing fast and smooth, and it feels great just using it day to day. It even feels snappier than my Galaxy Z Fold 4 and my Galaxy S22 Ultra. It just feels snappier, feels faster. So don't get locked into, though, even though Google's processor might not be the absolute fastest processor in the world, it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be, because it runs really, really well. The other parts of the update on the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, specifically the 7 Pro, because it is obviously a better phone, is the brighter display. There's supposed to be 14 and 1500 nits of brightness in the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro respectively, which puts it in line with other flagship phones. It might not be as bright as the new iPhone, but it's bright enough to where when you're outdoors or you're indoors or wherever, that brightness is going to come into play and you're going to be able to see your display, and it's going to be great. The quality of the display is obviously coming, I believe, from Samsung. Samsung makes excellent displays, and then Google takes over the control of the software and how it integrates into the display itself and can make its color temperatures and the way it looks obviously different than how Samsung would do theirs. So again, it might not be the absolute best display on the market, but it's going to be a great display. And the last couple of Pixel displays haven't been that great in terms of, I feel like, in terms of brightness. Quality has always felt like slightly stepped down on the Pixel phones versus Samsung phones, but I really think, because I've seen it for a short period of time, I think they're really going to improve that a lot with the new Pixel 7 Pro display. Now, continuing on with that, you've got cameras that have been updated. You get 30x zoom on video and photos on the new Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. And that's enough to take a really good quality moonshot or to capture someone that's far away and get good quality from that. And then obviously the quality of the photos and videos is also going to be improved. And I say that because there's a guy that has released, he works at like an AT&T store, and he's released a bunch of videos on YouTube talking and showing off the cameras. And they're really, really good. With direct sunlight like behind him, you can still see his face. It doesn't get weird sunspotting and rays of sunshine and just weirdness that's going on. It looks excellent, and this is on video, and the video's really, really stable as well on the front and the back, and the quality of the 30x video is really, really good. Like, I have really, really high hopes in the camera department. I always have with the Pixel phone, and this year is absolutely zero difference. Maybe even more excited to use the new Pixel 7 and 7 Pro with enhanced zoom and better quality video and photos overall, with higher megapixel cameras in there, up to 48 megapixels. And then, like, what wouldn't you love about that? I mean, that's ultimately putting them, again, might not be the highest megapixels, might not be the longest zoom, but it's good enough and it's great enough. And why do we need more? Why, especially if it starts to not get the quality that you would expect and want. Other things, obviously, it has the dust and water resistance, IP68. It has fast charging up to 30 watts. But again, the 30 watt fast charging, is it the fastest? No. Is it good enough? Yes, and I think you can see where this narrative is going, that the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro are good enough, just on a paper level, and some of the things that I've seen with the phones, they're good enough. And that's not a bad thing. That doesn't mean it's gonna be the best in every single category, but what it is it's a device that is getting to the point where, you don't, just performance alone. Do you need the ultimate performance on there? No, you don't. You just need something that is really snappy and fluid and fast. The Pixel does that. Quality of photos, are they nice bright photos? Are they crisp? Are they clean photos? Do they take good night photos? Is there a nice zoom? The Pixel has it. Does it get software updates all the time for years and years and years to come, and timely updates? The Pixel has it. Does it have all the features that you'd want with wireless charging and fast wireless and fast wired charging, and customizations in there for wallpapers and just overall displays and stuff like that, and a good quality display, a bright display? The Pixel has it. A lot of phones have it, but you have to say at the end of the day, the Pixel has enough that with the price alone versus their competitors, they're basically a couple to $200 to $300 cheaper for the same models versus their competitors. That's what's really huge about this, is that you're getting all of this top quality stuff in the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro for $200 to $300 cheaper than the iPhone and the Samsung phones. And I'm super excited about this because they're finally putting out a phone that has always kind of competed with their competitors and close enough, but this is almost getting to the point, and if not more, that it's going to beat their competitors. And I have super high hopes on this phone. I can't wait to get this phone later on in my hands in just hopefully about a few days, basically, a week or so. And when I do, I will definitely compare it against the new iPhone. I will compete it against the S22 Ultra. I will compete it against the old Pixel phones, and I'll give you an honest opinion. Is it what I'm saying it is right now and what I feel it is and what I've seen so far? I think it will be, but remains to be seen. And I'm super stoked about what it's gonna be all about and how the market's gonna perceive it, because the Pixel line is growing year over year over year. We've got a great day of tech news for you because this is all about the Pixel 7 Pro. And we got a couple of questions answered based off some things that were kind of left open in the air in terms of screen brightness. We got information on overheating, and we have information on battery. So we're gonna talk about all those things. There was a guy that got his Pixel 7 Pro early, and he answers all of these questions for us. Now, I wanna preface before we even jump into this, everybody's usage, everybody's thing is gonna be different. So this is just one person's usage and I guess opinion, if you wanna throw it at that. But I do wanna say everything is looking sunny and bright and beautiful. So let's just dive into these tweets and Reddit posts. So first of all, he put out a tweet that I found. It says it's 10:38 p.m. in the UK now. I took the Pixel 7 Pro charge at 7:30 a.m. this morning, and I've got 29% battery left. I've been using the phone all day, taking many pictures and even 4K 60 frames per second videos. The battery life seems awesome. Now it's bedtime. So basically, that's a really almost a completely full day. Most people aren't out that long, and to have 29% battery life still on there. Now, he's not saying he's watching many videos or doing social media or anything like that, so we don't know his full usage case, but this is great news to get a completely full day of battery life and still have some battery life left over if need be. This is fantastic news. And remember, it's on pre-release software, so hopefully it will only get better from there. Someone asked the question, have you noticed any heating, basically any overheating on the phone? Because that was a problem with the Pixel 6 Pro, and he said no, nothing at all today. And that's, again, fantastic news when you take into consideration that he's recording 4K 60 videos, and that was one of the big culprits, recording 4K videos. The Pixel 6 Pro would sometimes get really hot and sometimes overheat. This doesn't seem to be an issue on the Pixel 7 Pro. And then the last bit of information is the screen brightness. This is rumored to have 15 nits of brightness on the Pixel 7 Pro, and it looks like that's what it has, because someone asked him a question about the screen brightness, and he said the screen brightness outdoors is good, easily visible, and definitely a huge step up from the 3XL. I guess that's the phone he came from. But I've been using the iPhone 14 Pro for a few weeks, and that thing has spoiled me. It can hit 2,000 nits outdoors. Keep in mind that I'm in the UK though, and summer is definitely very much behind us here. So I want to talk about that, because yesterday I talked about, hey, Pixel 7 Pro is potentially a flagship killer, meaning it's going to be the flagship that you might want to get. Now, it might not be the best in every single category, like I mentioned, but the price is really competitive. It's like $200 to $300 cheaper than almost every flagship phone on the market, at least in America anyway, that you can get in most countries. So it's a really competitive device. So I'm loving everything I'm hearing. I was worried about screen brightness coming from the Pixel 6 Pro. I heard rumors that it was going to be brighter on the Pixel 7 Pro. It seems like that is definitely the case. Battery life, wasn't too concerned about it, but it's great to hear that you get at least a full day of battery life out of it. Overheating was something I was a little concerned with, but we've heard that that new Tensor G2 processor is more efficient and a little bit more powerful at the same time. So that would mean, obviously, if it's more efficient, it's gonna be better with heating and overheating in general. So that's all fantastic news. I did see a comment yesterday on my video, again, about the Pixel 7 Pro being a flagship killer in terms of, hey, you know, we have Samsung phones and people beat up on Samsung saying, hey, they're not doing enough. They're not doing this or that. The big issue with this is Samsung has always been known and should be known as a super premium tier brand, meaning they go above and beyond spec-wise versus basically all of their competitors. Also take into consideration that Pixel 7 Pro has a price that's $200 or $300 cheaper on almost every level versus a Galaxy S22, 22 Plus, or 22 Ultra, and that's where the big differences come in at. So that's why I say that, you know, just because Samsung, you know, might be a little bit better in some categories, a little less in others, but their prices are still a lot higher than a Pixel phone. So that's where I think that the Pixel phone can really gain in terms of getting better sell rate and sells out throughout the world, and being a big competitor to Apple and Samsung all around the world as well, at least in places that they're sold. So let me know your thoughts so far on the news that we talked about today. Brighter display, good battery life, and then also we've got the overheating being really, really good. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. And also, if you haven't seen my video, I did release a video today. It's linked in the description that shows you a comparison of the Galaxy Z Fold 4 versus the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Peace.